Hi guys, this is just a really basic video going through some of the new editing techniques that I've been using lately. My last Screen Pics episode, these were the images at the end. So we had an image of a saber cat. These were the actual originals. So I put them side by side and we can briefly have a look at how I got this effect. With this image it was really subtle, just a matter of really bringing out the clouds a little bit more and the atmosphere. So that's the second one we'll be looking at. And the third one we'll be looking at is this one, which I've changed it quite a lot. In the one on the left it's very blue and green and the mountains are grey. Right, so I use a variety of different editing softwares and websites to edit my screenshots. This time we're going to use iPicky. So obviously the first thing I did with this image is I decided that I wanted a kind of really fun atmosphere. I wanted a kind of magical atmosphere without going too overboard. So this is the software. We've got some filters down here. Focal things here to kind of blur out the background and if that's what we wanted to do, but we're not really interested in those, not right now. The one thing we're interested in is this fiery effect, fiery image down here. And we're going to apply it. Now obviously we're not going to leave it at this extreme because it's too much. We just want something that will give a slight textured vibe to the image. And we can select smoke mode, but what that does is it tones all the colours down, so it kind of makes it more saturated. And I don't want that because I want my images warm and magical. So we're going to go with about 80 or possibly even more, 85. So it's a really gentle effect. And then of course we're going to add the bokeh. And obviously it starts off at a default size of 58. And we can put that down to say 10. I put it a little bit bigger, 12. And there's 3 types that you can choose from. I go for creamy because it makes these edges a lot softer. And obviously you can apply that and you can add another layer. And again, you can do different varying sizes. I do tend to do that for variation. And a third one because why not? I like bokeh. And there we have it. It's a very simple technique. I think it looks a little bit dark, so sometimes you have to lighten them up after using this fiery effect. So I just go for exposure and I put it up a tiny bit. So yes, this is it. This is the finished product. Now for our next image, we had this one. And for this one I really loved the kind of atmosphere. And again I wanted a really subtle texture. A filter that would be good for this kind of feel would possibly be the Polaroid. I tend to use these filters really sparingly. And one final thing that I want to do with this image to really bring out the clouds is go into exposure and bring up the shadows a tiny bit. You see, you have to be mindful of what's going on in the rest of the picture because this rock here is getting very dark. So I'd say about 5 or 6, that's fine. So yes, that's basically what I did with this image. It was really quite simple. And this image, let's have a look at this one. So this one completely transformed into this. So how did we do this? Let's go ahead and go to our fiery image because that's what sometimes I tend to start with when I know what effect I want to use. And you can see that it's got this kind of warm effect around the image already. Another effect with iPicky that I sometimes use is this CinemaScope up here, and I have used it for this image in particular. I'm not going to use the borders, so I'm going to take that off and I'm going to apply this, and that will just give a kind of really the brown warm feel to this image. And there's one more thing that it's missing, and that's obviously the bokeh effect. So we've gone through that. The image has been completely transformed. And now you guys know which effect I've been using on my pictures recently. Well, I hope you found this video interesting and thank you for watching.